Hey everyone, it's Cryptic with How to Casual. Um, I got laid off, so I'm gonna be making way more videos on how to casual and how to meta. Um, let's move over. There we go. So these are the runes if you need them real quick. We really want to focus on CDR and the items that we build, and we really want to focus on just getting to late game so we can just throw mushrooms everywhere. Other than that, yeah, top. Perfect. Instant lock in Teemo. I like Flash Ignite, but I suggest Flash Teleport for most people, unless you really are going to be fighting in your lane constantly. Hey guys, while editing the video, I noticed that I had the wrong runes on. I actually had these runes. Let's move me over here. They're basically the same thing. The only other thing with domination is it's more damage, and that's kind of what we want. And that's probably why we were falling short in a lot of those 1v1s we were dealing with Aatrox. This is what we had. It's more of a utility Teemo. It makes you be able to fight longer, but when you're fighting someone like Aatrox, you want more of a finish rather than a sustained fight. He's always going to win the sustained fight. The importance in this build, the really two importance one, is this Transcendence and this Ultimate Hunter. You want the ability haste is the important part. The mana flow band's important for your mana because Teemo's mana intensive, and Scorch's extra damage. Yada, you know the rest. We want the one in the beginning. Build your Teemo like that. Do not do it this way. This is what I had though. If you wanted to see, it's another way you can build Teemo. It is good for extended fights against, like, let's say a Malphite. It's really good. So we're going to be fighting Aatrox. I think I'm just going to go with Doran's Ring. Okay, so we're just going to hop on a Doran's Ring. And depending on how it goes, if we're just losing the trade... I forgot some health potions. Always grab health potions. You want to respect your lane opponent. Assume they're going to at least be able to do some damage to you. Now, when you're helping someone ward their red, I like to place it right here. It gives vision of here and their red. Also, you're going to not want to come up this way, because if someone's playing Tryndamere or Jax, they like to sit right there and they'll outtrade you in the 1v1. If they have to come behind you, you can just hide into your minions. Oh shit. Okay, with Aatrox. He sucks to fight against because his Q just so happens to be like the perfect range for your auto attack. So after you auto attack him and run away, his Q should be just long enough that the time it takes you to run away, it finishes and gets you right at his sweet spot, which you don't want because it does way more damage. This is why we pick up those potions, because he just gets lifesteal out the floor. And if you're being aggro, you want to keep your distance as much as you can while staying outside of the minions. And you don't want to focus too much on being aggro. That's a problem I forget off. But even now, we want to mainly focus on minions while he's all low HP. You'll get out CS'd if you just focus on trying to damage someone like Aatrox who heals consistently. So they're fighting in their jungle. Right here. Looks like he wins that trade, so we don't need to go help him. Now we want to get him out of here before he hits 6 because he'll just win the trade. and it will be a run for your life. He hit level 6 situation that he can start whenever he wants, and we don't want that. Thing when fighting Aatrox, I suggest actually maxing your W after your E instead of your Q. A lot of people like to max the Q for the extra damage, the better blind. With your W, you'll be able to get out of those tight spots a lot more. And I thought I could beat that, but I couldn't. Hey everybody, it's Editor Cryptic again. I totally could have beat that, actually. So let's kind of go over where I messed up. Right here, I have the huge health advantage. My flash is up. I have my ignite. He has almost no HP. He has amazing sustain, so I don't want to get caught. I do the stupid mistake of letting him catch me. Now, right there, he hits me. It's not the stun, so we're still good. I'm thinking, I'm just going to auto attack him a couple times and it's done. Boom, boom. He gets the stun. So now I'm panicking. That's my problem right there. He gets this right here. I've ignited him. I have my autos on him. I have my flash. The smart thing would be just walk right here and then flash out of it, because that pull is going to interrupt my auto attack. But if you flash, you get a free auto attack. But I just stand still, tank the 2 hits, and die. Even if I just flashed without moving, it would have saved me from that double stun and let me get the 2 autos, because he is 17 HP. 1 auto would have got him. So if I flashed autoed again, he would have been dead. He wouldn't have got all of his life still. I would have been safely outside of range. So even if I didn't move and I just flashed immediately right up to here, I would have been good. It's just that panic, that is a little bit of a higher skill move to think like, I got hit, save my flash for getting out of his E, which I do like to save specifically for that reason, but I just panicked. It happens. You just got to learn how to play it from behind. I'm going to go Rift Maker. I would very much like to go Leandre's because it just gives that extra ability haste and you can just keep going, throwing out mushrooms like crazy. But the lifesteal is going to be necessary. Since we're already getting up to level 6, he's going to just out heal and you're going to get slowly poked out of lane. He's just going to keep healing up and then the snowball effect's just going to get worse. We are behind, so we do want to go for that Leeching Leer, what a name. And we want to get that going. When you're playing Teemo, you got to think about all aspects of the game. Teemo is kind of in a bad spot right now, and he doesn't really have any like dashes. He doesn't have a lot of burst damage, which is what Riot wants everyone to have right now. So one little trade like that, and he's taken almost no damage, and I'm a quarter down, which is why we want that Leeching Leer. I should have picked up some health potions, but... So now we're just going to try to use our mushrooms to keep us alive. I put one there, and that's not the best placement for one. We're going to want to kind of just throw one right here for when he chases us down, which is inevitable. He's going to tower dive. He is up on us, seems really comfortable with his character. And he's already hitting me under tower and taking only 1 tower shot. And as you can see, it is chunking my HP. Hey guys, Editor Cryptic again. I realized I don't really explain the mushroom placement well as we go throughout the video, so I'm just going to use green wards for the mushrooms that are defensive and pink wards for the mushrooms that are offensive uses, because those 2 are very important, especially when you're playing from behind like we're about to be. So for our defensive ones, we're going to want one right next to the tower. So you're going to want one here and here, both sides, so you can circle around your tower and they have to step on those to fight you. It's going to slow them down, and you just want to run. You're going to want to run over here, and you're going to run over here. Normally I would do this on the client, but it's down, so we're going to have to use this riftkit.net. So those are your basic tower ones. Now, if they're really diving you, they had just way up on HP. An offensive defensive mushroom you can do is as the minions are coming up, you want to throw it right here. The minions will hit it and they're trying to dive you. They're going to get hit by the splash. A thing that a lot of people don't think about is the champions don't have to step on them to set them off. The minions can. So you can use it as a make the minions set it off so the champions get slowed so they can't dive you. So they have that hesitation when it comes to diving you under tower. Another place people like to come from, the jungler will come up from here. So I like to throw a defensive one about here and there if I have it. With this low cooldown, it just really makes it easy to pump these out. If you are more out here and he's not tower diving you, a lot of good defensive ones, I like to push it right in the center. But a lot of junglers, if they're smart, they're going to know that a Teemo is going to put his mushrooms there. So they'll kind of walk around. So one right here catches them off guard. So if you have two to spare, one there, they'll go around. They want to take the shortest path to you. Right here is always a good spot to put one. They will kind of just walk through here, and that gives you time. I don't want to say the opposite direction of the jungler, whoever's the strongest. If the jungler is a little behind, you kind of have to make that split second decision. And I usually go based off of level. If your laner is a lot higher level than the jungler, sometimes it's a good idea to run at the jungler. Just run straight at them. You're usually a higher level than them unless you're really, really behind. A lot of times when I'm playing Teemo, a level 4 will come up to me when I'm level 6, and I just run straight at them. And then you can just flash whatever skill shot they lazily throw at you. Here, another good defensive decision. I just call it the U. You have a U going through where if you're running through here, so let's say this is you, this is your laner, he's ducking in bushes, trying to get at you. This is you. You just want to run and kind of attack from here. Instead of, staying in the lane where everyone else normally stands, I like to stand, with my mushrooms. If you have a mushroom, let them know where they are. Stand right on top of them. If they want to come at you, they have to step over a mushroom. So after I have the U set up, I'll just run down through here. Now they have to run through the mushrooms or go super long. I like to keep these two tight in the center and these two wide. That way it's really hard to chase you wherever you want to go. You can run up through here to escape. You can run up, and as they're hitting them, now just run up here, and they're going to be like, he obviously has mushrooms there. I'm not going to chase him. Or they chase you, and now they ate 3 or 4 of your mushrooms, and you might be able to kill them. So just running through your mushrooms is your safety net. If you want to move them up more, kind of make it like a line, that just gives you more ability to stand into the minions. Now, making sure the minions don't chase you into your mushrooms is really important. So if I have the spare, I like to keep one here in the bushes so they don't really have to. They really don't have that option of hiding in the bushes and forcing you to fight the lane minions. And just kind of body block the lane minions. Take that extra damage. With the Leeching Leer, you can take those couple of hits and, auto a minion once or twice and you have your HP back. And they don't break your mushrooms and you still have your defensive line. Now, let's say you're ahead and you want to be more offensive. You're going to want your offensive mushrooms be here, here, here. Now, the minions have a very narrow path that they walk, and it is right through here. The skill is learning how wide your mushrooms are in their hitbox and making sure the minions just barely miss it. You want it to be, if the minions walk through and they start piling up, making that kind of U shape they always do, you start running away. You want to pull them till they are straight again in a line. And that makes it where you can just guide them. They're not hitting your mushrooms. They're not stacking up into a U, hitting the very edges of the boxes and breaking them. And that will give your laner the confidence. There's no mushrooms there. The minions didn't set them off. There's nothing there. They'll walk alongside of their minions because of unit collision. And then they'll hit them. And then it kills the minions, does huge damage to them. And the meanwhile, you can just keeping that circle of protection that you have, that little, it's about the same radius as your Q. So just highlight your Q. That's kind of how much distance you want to keep between your laner or your tower, whichever is closer to you. So if your laner's sitting here, just poke him. Keep your circle and kind of poke at him until he gets away, but you're still out of tower range. And then once your burn goes off, just hit tower. Hit tower. If someone comes to gank you, run up through your mushrooms, run all along, throw a mushroom right in front of them. It scares them away. They go, this guy's confident with his champion. He's just gonna, I'm running into a huge cloud of mushrooms. If you have your defensive U set up, or if you have, you know, your mushroom here and here, and they've already walked through one and they see you drop another, they're going to avoid that like the plague because they already know how much damage it's going to do to them. Auto attack them. Yeah, your opponent's going to start coming up behind you, but he has to run through that mushroom field. And if he hits one and your enemy jungler is attacking you and you're just attacking him, you probably kill the enemy jungler. A lot of the time you can. Later in the game, I'll go into offensive positions on mushrooms when I find a good example in the video. Take the loss, the little bit of gold now, because if you wait till, you know, 3-4 levels, he's going to be able to chunk those plates in a heartbeat. And with the Leer, you have at least that, how much is it? 5% Omnivamp, which kind of puts you back to being able to get back into the game quicker. So you don't have to back every time he accidentally hits a Q and takes half of your HP off because you're Teemo. Now this radius right here is kind of your danger zone. You want to keep everyone outside of that little radius right there. I was doing a lot better early in the game, and then I got distracted and gave him that kill, and then it just kind of went south. So to keep people out of that, you're going to have a jungler try to gank you. You want to keep that jungler away and make it harder for them to engage you. I'm just going to get destroyed. The smart thing would have been to stand a turret in this zone and just kind of throw mushrooms out repetitively and let the mushrooms clear the wave. This is one of the more painful things about playing Teemo, is if you get behind, you're behind forever. The rest of the game, you're behind. And now they're just going to crack the tower. The whole game, with them getting that, oh, looks like she might actually drop it mid. I almost always want to drop Herald top because people just forget about top lane. So this setup is kind of my safety setup. I like to run back into this. This means while I'm running here, I'm creating more distance. If they try to short up to me, they have to go through there. Which when you try to short into somebody, you're trying to cut them off. So while they have to go the long way around, you go the short way. And if they do that, they'll run into the mushrooms because that is just the shortest path. People forget they're playing against Teemo and they path very basic paths, and that will lead them to running over mushrooms. Yeah, see, each of his hits are doing 230. He's actually dealing more than a tower shot right now. Oh, I'm dead. Gonna have to flash. What? No way. It still pulled me even though I flashed out of it. That's great. Yeah, Aatrox is just one of the hardest people to come back against. You're kind of screwed if you get behind against him. And this is the problem with a lot of balancing with Teemo, is you're like on a razor edge. and you either win super hard or you completely lose and it's just over and you're never coming back. And it is one mistake. You only need to make one mistake and it ruins the rest of the game. You're just not coming back. You get one kill on a Teemo. If any jungler is watching and wants to know how to just guarantee your top lane wins, kill their enemy Teemo once. If you're fighting against an enemy Teemo, kill them once and they win. Your top laner has no excuse. If they're not winning every team fight after that, that's on them. Yeah. So I'm trying, but he has the dashes. I can't do anything. I'm just gonna have to sit in lane, huck mushrooms. He just has the things going for him is he has a dash to engage, he has gap closers, he has a speed steroid, and he has a stun. I have a blind and a speed steroid. And if I can get him to step on the mushrooms, which he can see, I have a slow. So with his 2 stuns, he just outkits me in utility. I can't keep up with his utility and his mobility. Really got to plan out your fights with Teemo, and someone like Aatrox, you just can't do it. Jeez. Even just having one extra person there to help fight him getting his Q off on 3 people heals him more. So being there almost hinders your teammates. And it's so painful because you want to help, you go in, but his just huge sweeping abilities make it so much harder not get hit, and then you're just giving him more lifesteal, more attack damage, and it's like, am I even helping? Am I just hindering my team by being here? But being super cautious and the extra damage will always help your team. We got 4 seconds before Aatrox is here. And I'm going to die for this turret. There we go. See, against a Vigar, it's a little easier because he doesn't have the dash. He has to walk up to me. He can't just 2 dashes, throw something on me that's going to root me in place and then hit me with a huge damaging spell that then stuns me. Meanwhile, I'm just spitting toothpicks at him, trying to get any damage I can out, trying my little hardest. And see, he missed his abilities, and it's the end of the combat. He can't just keep following auto-attacking, healing off of every auto-attack he does, waiting for his manaless cooldowns. Meanwhile, my Aatrox is just going crazy in the center lane, killing everybody. I almost have enough. Woo! Just throw the mushroom down. Too late anyways. I wish I was narrating there. I thought we were going to go in and we didn't, and that was my fault. I should have looked at the minimap. I would have obviously seen that both our jungle and our bot lane, which they're doing the best, I believe, on our team. 1-2, 4-2. Yeah, they're doing the best, so you kind of want to follow those players, the ones who are doing the best on your team. If you're going to go into an engage like I just did, and the only positive people on your team are like, yeah, no, I'm not going into that, you should probably listen to the people who are going positive on your team, rather than the 0-5 Teemo. There we go, the 1-5 Teemo now. Now they're all kind of tanky, and we want to do as much damage as possible. We also want some cooldown. Now the reason for that is those mushrooms are just your lifeblood in situations like this. You want to be able to pretty much start a garden instantly wherever you're at, and still be able to do damage with those mushrooms. So I like to go Cosmic Drive. It just gives a lot of ability haste, really brings down your trap, and it does good damage, and it will actually pump you up to 105 ability power. So now at times like this, you just want to clear up minions and you want your waves to be positively pushing, meaning that your waves are going towards the enemy team. The whole team's kind of doing that. So we would want to kill that wave. I'm going to go kill this wave and just have the blue heading on. We don't really have any open objectives we can take. We'd have to push into something. And since we're behind, we kind of want to get a pick before we go about trying to take one of their towers. And we have no vision whatsoever. And they're all there. So, Dragon is not up for a bit. And nobody cleared off top lane. There's just nothing I can do. It sucks because he just dashes straight up onto you. And you're just stuck with that. Now, I know what you're thinking. We're super behind. There's nothing we can do. All we have to do, push these waves till they're positive again. And don't get caught in the jungle when you're going between waves. And I'm going to throw 2 mushrooms there. That will slow down any waves and also help with the positive pushing. They're fighting. That's only got us killed. So we're going to avoid that. They seem to do better when we're not there. I know that sounds counterproductive, but sometimes it's true. When people are team fighting, they are waging risks constantly. They look at the enemies against them and they go, yes, I can fight that, or no, I can't fight that. And if you're there, they think of you as a Teemo who isn't 1-8. You're just a little bit behind in gold. That's what they think of you as. They're like, he's got the damage, he can back me up. I've seen Teemos go crazy, and sometimes that's just not it. You can't back them up with the damage they need. So sometimes it's better to not be there, so they don't want to risk dying because it's a 4v5. If they're smart, at least. Which I like to think all my team members are smart. Yeah, I know that's ironic since I'm doing the worst on my team. I've been playing stupid all day. Now we're just kind of playing street sweeper. Okay, now we have more of the cooldown. Now our mushrooms are really taking off, but we want even more before we start building into our damage. Yeah, Horizon Focus. So this is going to give us some good damage, and it's also going to give us just seconds on our mushrooms. They're just going to start coming out really fast, just boom, 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 and we're good to go. So at any time we can just set up an entire little forest. And so we don't want to stay in our lane too long. We just want to see... Okay, so 1 mushroom will not kill the backline minions, which are the important ones. So we are going to run up to a group, stop the group of minions, throw a mushroom on the tank, and then the backline should die from that. Or we will auto the backline once. And that should kill the backline minions. So we just throw this right there. You can throw 2 once you have your second item because you get them so fast that it doesn't even matter. You kind of want to avoid your team at this point just to make sure that you're not overlapping. One person 30 minutes into the game should be able to clear a minion wave. If you need help clearing a minion wave, it's over. They definitely need our help in this team fight. There we go. Sorry I didn't get all of the action. There we go. Now we're just gonna push it out. GG time diff. I like that. See, it is definitely, if you keep the lanes from pushing and you have a hyper carry like Samira with a Yuumi, you're probably gonna win. It does require your Samira to be a little good, so I'm getting carried. Thank God. 1 in 9 and still gonna win. This is terrible. But the idea of this is just fighting from behind. At first it was going to be a how-to play. I was hoping to get some good kills, and this is now how to fight from behind. We are going to go push these lanes back. Oh, team fight, big team fight. So Editor Cryptic again. This is a great example of a team fight and where to place your mushrooms. Just like I noticed, I said the team fight's coming up. So the first thing I do, I place this mushroom. That's because if our team fight here, we have R2 trying to fight Aatrox, but he's beefy. I've been feeding him. I've been doing bad. He tries to chase us out because he can take us on, and these three are more than likely going to come up here. I want to build as a Teemo the escape route for the team. Since we are behind, giving them those extra damage and mushrooms just gives them an escape. You're bringing value to your team even though you're super behind. So here and there. Now, this will let people run through. They can decide whether or not they want to break this or if it's going to be something that the enemy tries to decide and then they take damage for it. Now another right there, this is an offensive mushroom while these two are defensive. This one is specifically to slow him down and it's going to blow up on him. And it's also going to kind of let everyone know who's coming into the fight that we have mushrooms here. This isn't really the best fight. We're in a pretty bad pincer maneuver, so I want to disengage. I want these guys to disengage so we can get at a better position. But they continue to go on it, and as they're going through, our team plays really well, and our Echo sees that I set this up, so as he goes out and is running into the enemy team, he changes back into this because he knows that's a safer escape route. We get the good lockup. The slows are working. And I am really low on mana here, but at this point, the mushrooms are coming. Every 9 seconds, I'm able to throw another out. I end up with like 2 extra charges. Would have been much nicer to have the mana. See here, you want to just throw mushrooms in. I'm just kind of out, making sure I don't get caught out. And even here, he's just getting HP back after HP because that is Aatrox. See, he just has so much life still. There we go. Okay, we managed to deal with it. Smear's going to take those. So what I was going to say before I had to go quiet and focus at all is we can just go clear up these lanes if we're fighting from behind. But we're going to take Baron. I think we're going to take Baron. I don't think I have the HP or the mana to take Baron, but I'll definitely try my jungler friend. Don't die to... or die to it. See, now that we have our 2 items, we're just gonna help blind. There we go. That's what we want to do. Just want to blind. We want to make sure when we're helping at that point, our super fed lane opponent that we were fighting doesn't accidentally hit us with one of his wide sweeps on his Q and just kill us and get full HP and kill your ally who's just going to sit there going off. Teemo just didn't come in. I would have been able to do that. You gave him that little bit of HP he needed to. And with this, we're just going to let the minions push. We are going to throw up these mushrooms. Let those minions push. We do have Baron buff. No need to not utilize. See? You don't have to be in there attacking the turret. If you have Baron, your minions will do it for you. Let's get a couple auto attacks off. Flash out of that so you don't die. Run from the Diana. Throw one more in there. So also, this build on top of the large amount of CDR that it gives you, the cooldown reduction, you also get a crazy amount of HP, which makes it where that 1 Q from the Aatrox doesn't just end your life. And this is where you can kind of get a little more intense. I personally love to go Nashers, that attack speed, but If you wanted to go like focus a little more on the mushrooms, do Shadow Flame, maybe Demonic Embrace, Rabadons. Banshee's Veil is nice. You need a little defensive, but I think our mushrooms come up pretty fast as it is now and don't really need help. Like, we just made that mess. We do want to stop the waves from pushing on the outsides, especially bot lane. Bot lane is having a... They're just pushed in pretty deep. So now there should be a positive push. We have a little team fight going on here, but it looks more like our team's just murdering them, getting some fresh picks. Yep, some fresh pick. Some free kills for our team. Nice. Now, Samira's going to be able to push that. They have 20 seconds. I don't know if I can. Now, if I was mid lane with her, I think we could end it. But I'm not, so I'm just going to deal as much damage as I can. There we go. I was going to be so mad if that didn't kill her. And you win. That only took an hour and a half of gameplay and keeping everyone at bay. We pretty much played as Minesweeper and cleanup crew, just making sure those minions don't get into the base while your team actually does the work. They can't be bothered with the cleanup, so you have that job of the cleanup. If they look at their map, like a good Samira player who was carrying me did, and they notice all the minions aren't in base, they can focus on the takedowns. But yeah, I'm gonna end this. That was terrible on my end. How to play Teemo. Don't play like that. Perfect example. Do that but better. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time.